I know a lot of you have probably been interested in some of the stuff I've been talking about, whether you're on the Facebook channel or whether you saw an ad or whether you might have came from my personal email list or you know me from another business I've ran. There's been something that's been a calling of mine for a very long time, and I really just wanted to sit down and figure out how life works. And I've been doing that for quite some time. I've always questioned myself, like, all right, how does that work? How does that work? How does that work? And just digging and digging and digging to see how far the rabbit hole really goes down. And so I want to share something with you that you probably will not find on any other webinar or any other kind of training or anything really on the internet. And I just want to set the intention right now that I'm about to reveal some really cool stuff, something that I've never thought I would ever actually do. And I just want to share it with you guys. So let's go ahead and let's get started. Okay, so like I said, this is Amish Shah, and I want you to check something out here. Check out this Egyptian drawing that looks like an eye. It's called the Eye of Horus, or Horus, however you want to pronounce it. And this was a symbol of protection, royal power, and health. Now look at this. This is the human brain. The purple gland that you see, the little purple gland, is called the pineal gland. And that's pretty cool, right? In the next few moments, you'll discover something that the ancient Egyptians knew about the human mind that even the smartest scientists today will never actually tell you. And how this is a part of some big secret that will actually empower you to hack reality and tear down every limiting belief or obstacle that has ever held you back in life. And achieve crazy, improbable, almost superhuman feats in your business, in your life, and your relationship, and everything that's important to you. You can see on the left here, this is the Eye of Horus, and on the right, is the actual cut and scan picture of the human brain. Now, this is pretty interesting, right? How can something look so similar from thousands upon thousands upon thousands of years ago that they drew everywhere, the Egyptians did, and then we have modern science showing us something that looks exactly the same? Well, I want to give you guys a warning first. See, what I'm going to show you is freaking tailor-made for you if you've ever secretly daydreamed of becoming one of those visionaries you see on TED Talks, who's not just pushing every day for a more profitable business or a raise or a promotion, but who's a bona fide trailblazer, shaking up beliefs, practices, and the way things are done in your line of work. Or maybe you daydream of becoming a life hacker who's always finding and sharing novel ways for you to boost your health or happiness or relationships, and maybe even efficiency, whether it's that new natural supplement that jacks up your energy and vitality, or a flowchart for solving any problem in 7 steps, innovative ways to stay lean and stay fit, or maybe it's just a new email shortcut on your laptop keyboard. It doesn't matter. These are the kinds of laptops. These are the kinds of life hackers that maybe you daydream of being. Or maybe you daydream of being a wealthy yet grounded multimillionaire who never worries about cash or bills or mortgages. Someone who lives on their own terms and has the time and resources to design an exhilarating lifestyle full of new experiences, nice things, and of course, a beautiful house, right? And also someone who uses their own cash to make other people happy and help other people live out their dreams. And most of all, this type of person, you do all of it without losing track of what's really most important to you. Or maybe you dream of becoming an idealist who's committed to awakening the potential in others and hatching ingenious plans to empower your loved ones, your community, and the planet through charity work, or a conscious business, or humanitarian innovations that leave others wondering, why didn't I think of that, right? Then we have the other type of person that you might be daydreaming about, right? A happier, healthier, more balanced, more creative, more spiritually fulfilled person. The kind who kind of deeply enjoys your work and gets rewarded for it. The kind who actually enjoys abundance of guilt-free quality time with your loved ones, and maybe even has the luxury of working from home. And the kind who goes to bed with a smile on your face, knowing you're growing as a person and living to your highest potential. Or lastly, maybe you dream of becoming a modern-day Renaissance man or woman. Someone who successfully merged all of their passions from mind to body to spirit to emotions to anything, right? You've somehow combined all of this stuff into a harmonious way of life, You've honed in on your sixth sense as your intuition to be laser sharp and work with you in your life and everything that you do. See, at this stage, you're a pro at what everyone calls manifesting. This might be one of your dreams, right? You've mastered the art of empathy in relationships, so you know exactly what to say to get the best responses from your lover, from your clients, basically anyone. In your spare time, you create inspiring, deeply personal works of art or science, whether it's writing, painting, music, alchemy, carpentry, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Your energy is infectious because the people you meet can sense your aura of wholeness. Okay, I'm going to do a quick check-in. You guys still here? Cool. So first off, I want to thank each and every single one of you for taking time off your hectic schedules and joining me for this session. Now, as I told you in the emails and on the Facebook posts, this session is all about reality hacks used by serial entrepreneurs, visionaries, and game changers that basically allow them to shape the world around them, as in everything from the laws of probability to the law of attraction to the conventions of business and so on. And there's a very good reason why they do this. It's so they can achieve things other people call impossible. We all see it all the time. Wow, how did that person do that? How did that person do this? Well, that's what I'm about to break down to you. You see, by the time this session is over, you're going to be reprogrammed on a conscious and a subconscious level to realize that impossible is really just a construct of your mind. You're going to realize a liberating truth about who you really are and what you really are about. And most of all, we're going to show you what you're capable of, specifically what you inside have that you can bring out to the universe and actually show in the form of some kind of energy or power. And you specifically are going to know exactly what these reality hacking habits are by the time the session is over so that you can produce similar results. Now, specifically, here's what you're about to learn. We're going to start with a deeply profound story from yours truly, where I'll show you how I went from a broke kid driving around in my BMX, delivering candy and newspapers. It was wild. To a millionaire serial entrepreneur and globe-trotting adventurer. Now, that's just not it. I want to keep continuing here. Next, I'll show you the big problem with mainstream personal growth, science, spirituality, and business advice, and why most of us can't use it to spark a freaking lasting change in ourselves. If you've ever read a personal growth book or been to a marketing or entrepreneurship seminar, followed some guru's advice on some mailing list, or listened to an audio course, this part is seriously going to piss you off big time. And just wait till I get to that point. We'll then explore the existence of the unspoken inner circle of the world's most successful entrepreneurs, visionaries, game changers, celebrities, and authors. And these people live their lives by a whole different set of rules. No, we're not talking about the Freemasons or the Illuminati. We're actually talking real people who do real things. Then, and this is the most exciting part, I am going to personally guide you through one of my personal favorite mind exercises. This is something that I use whenever I need to make a business decision or whenever I need to spark some creativity in me, get some clarity, or look for some inspiration. Some of the people I've shared this with tell me it's pretty weird, it's pretty bizarre, and they've never done anything like this before. But trust me, it works like gangbusters. It really does. And I can't wait to share this with you. So, in case you're wondering, the answer is no. This is not another one of those secret clones. You're not going to see any of that redundant, rehashed, diluted law of attraction or goal-setting advice you'll find in most mainstream books and seminars and trainings. This is something different. Because I know that if you're anything like me, you want to get ahead of the pack. You don't want to be spoken down to. And most importantly, you want life strategies that actually transform your life instead of the chest beating stuff. The chest beating stuff that gives you that fake temporary high and not much else. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. Those ego boosters, right? We want to keep taking our ego in and boost our egos, and then boom, we fall flat and then we get back up. I'm talking about transformation of your life. So before I continue, do yourself a big, big, big favor. Please shut down Facebook, shut down Skype, shut down Twitter, turn off your phone, turn all that stuff off and pay laser sharp attention to what I'm about to tell you. You'll really, really, really thank me when we get to the end of this. I promise. Oh, and one more thing. Can you do me a favor? See, what you're about to learn is extremely, extremely, extremely powerful. It's super potent stuff that will help you create almost anything you want in your reality. So before we begin, I want you to make a promise. Promise me that everything you'll learn in the next hour, you're going to use it to do good things for a planet. Promise me you won't use it to screw anyone over, or manipulate people, or cheat a system at the expense of others. You know, Peter Parker's Uncle Ben quoted this way too often, but he's so right. He said, with great power comes great responsibility. Okay? Thank you. Okay, since you're going to be here with me basically for the next hour or so, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm this weird cross between a hard-hitting serial entrepreneur like Richard Branson, an adventurer like Indiana Jones, and a spiritual explorer like Deepak Chopra. See, that's me with my wife and my daughter. I'm 33 years old, soon to be 34, which is kind of crazy. I've made quite a few $1,000,000 over the years. I've ran a bunch of online businesses, and I recently started a foundation that travels to ancient ruins around the world, like Dwarka and the Egyptian pyramids and Machu Picchu. And our goal of this nonprofit, this foundation, is to unearth ancient technology and ancient wisdom. I'm also an avid researcher of mind science like meditation and visualization, down to the more esoteric stuff like astral projection and manifestation, and maybe even a little bit of alien technology and ancient scripts, and really just learning what all that means. Basically, I'm hell-bent on exploring just what the heck we're really capable of as human beings. And how far down does the rabbit hole really go? I'm crazy, crazy, crazy grateful to be living the life that I'm living right now. To be living what I see as my greatest life. I do pretty well for myself. I have all the time I want to go on adventures or anywhere around the world, or just cuddle at home with my wife and daughter. I have an online tribe that supports and follows my adventures, and I get to spend all my time working on projects and growing businesses I'm truly passionate about. So if you're used to watching your average webinar or video or anything like that, you'll know that a lot of the gurus start the presentations this way. They'll tell you about all the flashy stuff they have and all the amazing stuff they've done because they want you to turn green with envy. They want you to feel inadequate with what you have and what you know, so you're more likely to give them your money later. You see, to me, it's a little bit different. Let me give you the sincere, respectful, transparent truth of why I'm showing you the kind of life I have. It's because if you're not living the life you think is perfect, I want you to open your eyes and realize that I'm not any smarter, luckier, or special than you. Because the only difference between me and you is this. I've pinpointed right down to the minor details exactly how these reality hacks work. I've learned how to game the system and manifest outcomes in my favor, whether it's money, business, health, lifestyle, love, or whatever. I've learned the secret to harnessing forces that are way beyond me, just like everyone in this new wave of successful, accomplished, fulfilled people are doing on the planet. But more on them and more on these forces in just a little bit. First, I want you to know that in no way is my life completely perfect. I still screw up. I still have my bad days. Not all my business ventures are successful all the time. And anyone who says they're happy and successful all the time is lying. The key here is whenever I do have a problem, the solution comes to me that much easier than before I knew what I know today. Things fall into place for me. And if I want or need something, I know how to make the world around me shift so that people I need to meet and the things I need to do and the path I need to follow almost literally just falls into my lap. What you're going to learn here is not about becoming perfect. It's about empowering yourself and increasing your odds in business, love, in health, in life, and to get as close to perfection as you can. And I know for a fact that you can do this too, because seriously, anyone can. How can I be so sure? Well, I started out at rock bottom. This is a funny picture of me. I was this weird, unhappy kid. In fact, I wasn't just unhappy. By the time I hit around 4 years old, I was actually obsessed with death. That's as weird as it sounds. It's something like I've been holding inside of me, but now it's just the time that I'm letting this out. It's like a big, big fear I've been holding on to, right? And I want you to know, when I was 4 years old, this is what I was thinking about. I kept wondering what things were like on the other side. I really didn't like my life too much because of my household circumstances and what was going on. It was just kind of like a dark sense that I had inside of me. So I always wondered, does anyone really love me? And the most important question that kept coming up for me was, what exists beyond what our eyes can see? Why me? Why is this happening to me? And can I shift this reality? Because I was so close to the other side and questioned so much about death and who we are, I started getting these informational downloads from what I believed to be from the other side too. When I was 10 years old, my parents were so poor that I was literally forced to go door to door selling newspapers and candy to just help out with the bills. My dad was pretty negative. He was just like, there's no money, we can't afford this, we can't do that, right? We can't do this, we can't do that. Everything revolved around money. No food, no family events, everything revolved around money. Whereas my mom was just positive. She was all about keeping the love inside of the family, so she'd just be like, hey, why don't we just stay at home today and play board games and have fun? Well, speaking of my mom, she played a huge part in my passion for human potential and the power of looking inward. When I was around 10 years old, she'd give me books to read by Tony Robbins and Napoleon Hill and Dale Carnegie and Les Brown. And she even taught me meditation and other exotic Hindu mind empowerment rituals that have literally stuck with me to this day. You see, when we got the internet, she used to email me stuff about abundance and happiness and all the positive stuff. In fact, she still does. But there was one particular incident that actually just held on to me, left a deeper mark inside of me and in my youth. And it set my path onto what I'm doing today. You see, when I was 15 years old, I was curious about everything. But instead of skateboarding, playing basketball or baseball, or starting a band like other kids my age, I got into computer hacking. As in, I seriously got into computer hacking. I was hacking into all kinds of things online. This was in 1995, so it was actually pretty easy, so just keep that in mind. And then in 1996, when I was 16, I was home alone and I was flushing food down the toilet that I didn't want to eat. I really was flushing food down the toilet that I didn't want to eat. And I remember this like it was yesterday because it's like forever inside of me. And the doorbell rang. So I look through the window and I see a bunch of cop cars and unmarked cars in front of my house. There's probably about 10 of them. And I see about 5 to 10 agents in front of my house, all wearing bulletproof vests. And I'm looking at the window and I'm like, no, this can't be real. This cannot be happening. But it was. And so I opened the door and they turned my house upside down and arrested me. And so I went to court with 19 charges against me. My arrest was featured on the Wall Street Journal, on CNN, and many other major publications. I was a juvenile at the time, so none of it was actually released in my public name. But what the judge told me in court on my hearing day left a mark on me forever. Because he said, if you can use what you did for good, you can change the world. And that stuck with me forever. He said, if you can use what you did for good, you can change the world. It made me realize what kind of power I had. Why was I doing what I was doing? Why was I obsessed about making money and doing this stuff and computer hacking? What was that piece? So thankfully, all I got was 2 years probation and 50 hours of community service and no juvenile jail time. I was truly, truly grateful. It was a blessing in disguise. You see, weird things started happening in my life after this FBI incident. This was around the same time my mom came back from a trip in India. She went because all the stuff that was happening, with me, I was about to get kicked out of school and all this stuff was going on. My dad was out of a job and it was just a serious time where my mom just wanted to go back to India and visit her hometown and hang out with family and figure out a solution. She came back and she basically started showing me how to make use of this ancient symbol called the Sri Yantra, which I'm going to tell you more about in just a second. So what happened? Well, I had my first out-of-body experience at the age of 17. I started my first business. I found my life partner at 19. Got a job earning $120,000 a year by the time I was 21. Made my first $1 million by the time I was 25. And started my Ancient Explorers Foundation by the time I was 32. Oh, and along the way, I've made a couple $1 million too. It's wild. I can't believe my own life. So what the heck was going on? Was I insanely lucky, Was it sheer willpower, or was something else going on? Before I tell you the truth, and before I show you how you can get the same results in your life, I first need to show you an uncomfortable truth and why you may not be achieving the results you want in your life right now. So the problem is basically with most of us. If we don't know where to find good advice and strategies or how to achieve, earn, and experience and be what we want, we're like most people, and you follow the mainstream. You race to get your hands on the latest business and growth books and your local bestseller list, and hoping you'll find a big secret or insight to get an edge in your job or your business or wherever in your life. You subscribe to countless online mailing lists and get your inbox flooded with advice emails, which are really just fronts for inevitable marketing emails. Maybe you've read a few magazines. Maybe you've paid thousands of dollars for seminar or mastermind tickets. You, my friend, are stuck in the system. Let's take a look at mainstream personal growth. It's a $10 billion a year industry. There are gurus, coaches, and authors, and even self-engineered New York Times best-selling authors. I'm going to repeat that. Self-engineered New York Times best-selling authors who've committed their lives to every mind, body, spirit practice under the sun. You've got the spiritual woo-woo ones. You've got the rah-rah motivational ones. You've got the memes, like how yoga was the hot topic at one point, and meditation and creative visualization. And then the law of attraction came onto the scene. Recently, everyone's been talking about EFT and what that's all about. Well, what happens when everyone and their grandmother wants to become a life coach? Everyone's suddenly a manifesting expert, deluded by their favorite gurus into thinking that they use the law of attraction to get what they want just by thinking about it. Zen wannabes start going for Sunday morning Zen yoga classes, not realizing their instructor is leaving out some of the most important stretches and mantras because he or she doesn't even know them. You see, meditation gets glamorized, and everyone thinks that having a transcendent experience is as simple as closing your eyes and counting to 3. You've got folks obsessed with having out-of-body experiences, yet nobody can tell you exactly how to do it with consistency. Well, like the Yiddish saying goes, a half-truth is a whole lie. So while there are many, many, many amazing and genuine teachers out there, the world of personal growth is rife with watered-down wisdom, half-baked gurus, fake advice, and ridiculous promises. And it's not just personal growth, it's everywhere. It's everywhere right now. Right to the point where the FTC has to step in and shut some of these guys down. And investigative reports are writing books about how the whole industry is a sham. So what's going on? What is going on in our world right now? Guess what? The same exact thing is happening in the world of business and lifestyle design. Because, yep, sure, you've got some authentic and brilliant teachers like Tim Ferriss, Warren Buffett, Seth Godin, Jay Abraham, Frank Kern, John Assaraf, and more. But even they are being questioned by some people. Because you've got all these so-called experts throwing around all the same redundant pseudo-scientific advice that is supposed to give you the upper hand, when in reality, all they're doing is wasting your time with false hope. Take the whole concept of masterminds, for instance. These cool kids clubs. They've been trendy for quite some time now, right? And thousands of hopeful entrepreneurs across the world are paying up to $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, literally, just to get a piece of the action. So the idea of a mastermind is good. Don't get me wrong. How can you go wrong with a group of people with a common interest getting together and helping each other for the better? It makes complete sense, right? The problem is a lot of these mastermind gatekeepers don't know what they're doing. They have no group management skills, they blow a lot of hot air, and they suck at following through and holding people accountable. They're not being selective with their members. They're only concerned about who's coughing up the cash, even if it means bringing in deadbeats and letting the group's population literally swell to like China-esque proportions, right? They keep giving you the illusion of exclusivity, connections to world leaders, and insider-only knowledge that you're somehow incomplete and invalidated without them. Yet when you join their masterminds, you realize they're nothing more than a poorly managed cash cow for the founders. Now, I'm not saying that masterminds are not good. In their purest incubator form, they can be absolutely effective. Networking, right? Oh my God, this is complete bullshit. Networking, Or at least the way a lot of business gurus or these people online tell you to do it, right? At your job or wherever. They'll scream at you to practice your elevator pitch in front of a mirror, design a business card, dress up in a suit that costs you more than your monthly mortgage. I mean, sure, there's nothing wrong with any of that. But if that's all you focus on, you're totally missing the point. See, I'm pretty well known at events and conferences in my industry. So trust me when I say this. When a person meets you for the first time, there's one subconscious impulse surging through their mind that overrides everything else. How can this person add value to my life? So it's a good question. Maybe you can inspire them. Maybe you can teach them something. Maybe you can even just amuse them. There are a ton of things you can do to add value to someone's life. And it's best if you do that, right? It's your natural compass. It's what you first know yourself and know your strengths and discover how to bring that out and wear it on your sleeve like your heart. Learn how to take genuine interest in other people. Once you're able to do this, the value starts free flowing like Jay-Z in his prime. And that's what networking is really about. That's how you meet genuinely quality people who share your passions and will help you get where you want to be. So don't waste your time on some guru's regurgitated like networking wisdom crap. Here's another piece of advice that's complete crap, right? I'm going to go through this. I promise I'm going to change the tone in just a second, but I want to get this out. How's the so-called enlightened business teachers tell you to avoid multitasking and instead focus on one thing at a time? And by multitasking, I don't mean talking on the phone with one client while typing out an email for another one, all while you're making a smoothie. That's not the kind of multitasking I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is working on multiple businesses or projects in the same time frame, but managing your time like a pro and setting aside focused time for each. I'm going to spend a little bit more time on this one because it's just crazy important to your success. Some people call this type of multitasking parallel entrepreneurship. That's basically what they call it. And more forward thinkers and entrepreneurs, including me, are realizing that it's faster, more enjoyable, more efficient path to growth and success. You see, the Dig founder, Kevin Rose, for instance, he founded Revision 3 while he was still running Dig. Corporate CEO, Scott Rafer, he juggles a bunch of online businesses, including Mastery.com, Lumatic.com, and Deliver. Lillian Vernon, she's the founder of Lillian Vernon Corporation. She was a pioneer and successful multitasker. Vernon not only started a multi-million-dollar business on her kitchen table, she did it 51 years ago while she was pregnant. Before selling her company, Vernon expanded the company to 8 catalog titles and 2 websites. Then we have Lori Greener. She's currently known for being a Shark Tank investor, right? Everyone's seen her on Shark Tank. She's literally regarded as one of the most prolific inventors of retail products. She's created over 400 products and holds 115 US and international patents. She's a well-known celebrity personality on QVC, and she has her own TV show for over 15 years. Then we have Joe Rogan. He runs multiple businesses. So does Ashton Kutcher, Jennifer Lopez, Oprah Winfrey, Russell Simmons, and Jay-Z. And then, of course, me. I have 5 businesses. I'm kicking ass at every single one of them. Of course, you don't need to go as far as running multiple multi-million-dollar businesses if you're not ready to. It could be as simple as working on a few clients or projects at a time, or finding multiple ways to expand your network, or investing in yourself and studying a few different things at the same exact time. Some people ask me, is working on multiple projects a sign of ADHD? Well, hold on to that thought for just a second. I need to take a sip here. I've been going for quite some time. Drink a little bit of water. Wow, I am pumped right now. All right. So, like I said, some people ask me, is working on multiple projects a sign of ADHD? Well, maybe. But did you know that many of the world's top CEOs and entrepreneurs have actually, in fact, been diagnosed with ADHD? Like Paul Orfalea, the founder of Kinko's, and David Neeleman, the founder of JetBlue. Or Catherine Ellison, who won the Pulitzer Prize for International Journalism at the age of 27. Or Lucy Baines Johnson, the daughter of the US President Lyndon B. Johnson, who's also a successful businesswoman. And yup, Sir Richard Branson himself was diagnosed with ADHD. And did you know that scientists believe that many of history's most accomplished figures had it too? Like Thomas Edison, Walt Disney, Eleanor Roosevelt, Ben Franklin, Henry Ford, and many, 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 many others, such as Da Vinci and Leonardo. In fact, studies show that people with ADHD are 300% more likely to start their own business. And it's all because the brain chemicals that regulate attention and brain activity function differently than in normal brains. I'm going to get into that in just a second. So if you don't have ADHD, what can you learn from the successful ones? What can you do to simulate their energy, creativity, and drive? Well, what these people realize is that the human brain has this amazing ability to compartmentalize and draw connections between seemingly unconnected things. It's crazy how sometimes on the surface you might be doing all this disjointed stuff when in reality your subconscious is putting the dots together into this one big master plan. That's how one day you might be at the point where all these scattered businesses or projects you got going on almost magically cross paths or even merge together. The key is you've got to know how to manage not just your time, but your physical and mental energy. You've got to preserve the sanctity of your own creativity and analytical mind and surround yourself with inspiring thoughts, people, and experiences. You see, this is a picture of the human brain and the glands inside of it. It's basically known as the endocrine system. There are glands inside of your brain, the pineal, the pituitary, and the hypothalamus. They secrete fluids and hormones into your body to regulate various human functions, including metabolism, growth and development, tissue function, sleep, mood, emotional state, everything. So what this means is that these glands quite literally bring you the reality you think of as reality. And so by tapping into the power of the glands of these inside your brain, you can unlock hidden powers within yourself. If we only use 7 to 10% of our brains and we're able to build, operate, and destroy the whole entire material world around us, imagine what lies beyond that in the other 90+%. I've read in numerous studies and ancient texts that when you master these glands and how they function with each other, you open up a new world of reality and a sense of being, with the ability to do things that we think of as superhuman or supernatural. So what I encourage you to do is let your inner garden flourish, which is the reason why you're on this webinar right now. I'm using all the skills I've built by multitasking along the way to reach out to as many people as possible with the truth about succeeding in life in every aspect of it. This is the only truth I know, and this is the only truth that I can share with you. I want you to realize how powerful you really are and how there's no limit to the scope of what you can achieve. And I seriously wouldn't have been able to tell you that if I had done what all the gurus said and just focused on one thing at a time. So, when you boil it all down, the problem with this whole entire scenario, with personal growth advice, with business advice, with lifestyle advice, all of it is this. You may be smart enough to invest in your personal evolution, but if you're like most people, you're way too busy and you're just not getting the guidance to dive deep into mind science, spirituality, and best business practices and separate the fluff from the substance. You're stuck jumping on bandwagons and following marketing campaigns designed to hook you into the next big thing. Sure, you might get minor results here and there, but you're falling short of earth-shattering transformations you were promised. Your bucket list is still 20 pages long. You can't meditate as long as you'd like to. Your manifesting is erratic at best, and your business isn't growing fast enough, and your career isn't growing fast enough. You still get dragged down by negativity, procrastination, and bad habits. Your career, your finances, your health, your relationships are still a roller coaster of ups and downs. Are you ready for the cold, hard truth? Really want to ask you that question. Many gurus and experts out there can't help you because they can't even see the big pictures themselves. So what is the big picture? What is it that we're about to get into right now that's been painted before us? The solutions. You see, now that we've looked at the problems, we're going to start approaching the juicy part, the solutions. The hidden key that helped me elevate my life and my business to dizzying heights, and that I guarantee can do the same for you. First, tell me something. Do you know that feeling you get when you know you can be greater than you already are? As if something is missing, that feeling of longing, of pain, and just that itch that's inside of you? I've spent years and years and years searching for ways to elevate my life and overcome my family's shortcomings. But like I just said, all the mainstream business and personal growth advice out there is crap. The best it did was give me fake temporary highs. Instead, I began studying fringe stuff like phenomena, forces, and universal laws that are as real and as undeniable as gravity or relativity or the air you breathe. Stuff that the average person doesn't know exists, like the kind of mind-blowing quantum physics that makes you question the very nature of the universe. Antimatter, incredible mathematical coincidences like the golden ratio, sacred geometry used in some of the history's greatest buildings, auras projecting the human consciousness across time and space, advanced psychological tricks that create instant empathy with people, whether it's your lover or your client, cutting-edge nutrition that gives you superhuman abilities like athletes or like people like on Limitless. You remember that movie? The pineal gland in the human brain, which I showed you at the beginning of this webinar, yoga, mantra, sound vibrations, and the list can go on and on and on. But the most important of all of these is this symbol. It's called the Sri Yantra. The Sri Yantra is the symbol of everything. It's an ancient tantric ritual drawing used for meditation and concentration. It's been revered for thousands of years by both science and spiritualists, and I've been studying and using it my whole entire life, almost my whole entire life. In fact, this book has the Sri Yantra inside of it, and it's in my house for the last 17 years. This is the book my mother brought home from India when I was about 16 years old. This exact book is what she used to manifest change in our house and in our lives. So what's so amazing about the Sri Yantra is the incredible claims and studies surrounding it. You see, spiritual masters have written countless and countless books on it. Farmers claim displaying it near the crops give them better results. Some say a person can look into it and discover their ultimate destiny. And a few years back, an Indian doctor proved it was used to engineer the Egyptian pyramids. Instances of the Sri Yantra are known by in isolated ancient times, right? The geometric pattern can literally be found everywhere. In 1990, Bill Weatherspoon actually put this inside of the ground in Utah as a crop circle, and he noticed something. He noticed that the months after he put this crop circle there inside a dry lake bed, he started noticing more rainfall. He said that the people around the community were actually feeling more peaceful. They were harmony with nature. Even increased vegetation and appearance of animals that don't even exist in the area. It was as if the Sri Yantra started like this process of creation right in the middle of this desert in Oregon. Even Hollywood has made movies about it. The Last Mimsy is a movie. In the movie, the kids gain superhuman and supernatural powers from it. Think these are all coincidences? Think it's nothing but just an ancient myth? Well, not too long ago, Russian scientists from Moscow University used an EEG to see whether staring at the Sri Yantra actually does anything to a person. And what they found was that just by looking at it, the Sri Yantra induces altered cerebral activity in your mind and leads you into a state of meditation or self-hypnosis. Speaking of meditation, you know that Om sound that is traditionally chanted in the beginning or the end of meditation sessions? Yep, they say the sound of Om is the sound of creation. The sound is actually made up of 3 Sanskrit letters, A, U, and M. And when they're combined together, they make this Om sound. Researchers who study the visual origin of the sound and the vibration have discovered that the Om symbol is found buried within the geometric design of the Sri Yantra. As you're about to see, there's much more to it than that, though. That's just one tiny example of how everyday things we consider fringe are in fact proven to be legitimate forces that affect our lives in very real ways. The question is, are you going to let other people find out and let them use it first while you sit on the sidelines? Or will you take the initiative to be one of the pioneers? You see, diving into all of this stuff has helped me realize there isn't just more to reality than meets the eye. There's also more abilities that we have as human beings that 99.9% of us will never realize. When I started to see the potential in it, which was soon after my incident with the FBI, I committed to following years of my life to answering just one question. How can I reinvent reality? How can I harness all these unknown powers? How can I separate facts from fiction and use the ones that work to create anything I want in my business, in my passions, and in my relationships? to sculpt my own perfect version of reality. How can I do that? Well, when I began finding the answers to these questions, and when I started applying more of the out there stuff in my life, or as I like to call them, reality hacks, my life started to change in mind-blowing ways. For instance, I started closing more clients without even trying. My app code brought in $1.5 million out of nowhere, and I seriously was not even anticipating that. I just put the product up and I tested it, and it worked, and it brought this money in. Around the same time, I started getting downloads after meditating, which showed me incredible, profound truths about my true nature and even other people and about my health. And after trying and failing for several years, I was very able to lose 18 pounds and drop 100 points off my cholesterol, and I'm on my way to getting a six-pack, as you can see here. In the next few moments, I'm going to share with you the exact steps I took to achieve all this and more. But first, I want to share something really weird with you. See, once I started applying these reality hacks in my life, well, that's when I realized that a lot of the world's most successful people, like visionaries, game changers, multimillionaires, or even billionaires, best-selling authors, celebrities, everyone is doing this. Whether they're doing it consciously or unconsciously, they're tapping into this stuff too. And to everyone else who didn't know any better, well, you might make the mistake that these people were just lucky or they had weird habits. For instance, check out some of these people. Nikola Tesla. He's one of history's most brilliant inventors. He practiced the phenomenon of sexual transmutation to maximize his productivity, creativity, and inspiration. He rejected sex his whole entire life and never slept with one girl. He admitted he used that energy to invent these crazy things that he invented, like the X-ray and wireless electricity and all kinds of stuff. He also mentioned on several occasions that he studied ancient scriptures to tap into the realness of life. Then we have Napoleon Hill. He's the king of weird. He's practically the weird OG, right? People love his stuff, but a lot of people don't know how deep it goes. Honestly, he's had a lot of out there ideas, like mental meetings with invisible counselors and subconscious mind tricks. But probably his most outrageous concept is what he calls sexual transmutation. It probably sounds like some weird alchemy, but as you'll see, it wields incalculable power. Then we have Tim Ferriss. He's a serial entrepreneur, self-described ultra vagabond, and arguably the modern-day king of weird. Ferriss has learned how to hack virtually every aspect of life, and if he hasn't yet, just give him 4 more hours, right? In Ferriss's obsessive quest, he allegedly discovered how you can reach your genetic potential in 6 months and devised a rapid learning approach that's enabled him to learn 5 languages. And he's even a world record holder in tango and a national champion in Chinese kickboxing. Then we have Frank Kern. He's a purveyor of online marketing ninja skills for controlling large groups of people. Frank's devised a method to connect with emotional drivers of his customers and influence them by creating congruent connections between what he wants in his life and what his customers want in their life. Then we have Vishen Lakhiani, a self-proclaimed cultural hacker. Vishen Lakhiani pushes against the construct of the traditional board of advisors by subscribing to Napoleon Hill's controversial invisible counselor. This mental technique allows him to draw out unique ideas and insights by tapping into imaginary minds of anyone living or dead. Some of Napoleon Hill's more notable counselors were Aristotle, Homer, Lincoln, Newton, Plato, Socrates, and even Jesus. Then we have Simon Cowell. One of the many celebrities who uses an unusual method or body hack to look and feel good. Every week he gets an IV drip, a cocktail of vitamin C, B12, and magnesium. And he claims it makes himself look younger and feel better. Not saying you should do this yourself, but hey, imagine the amount of unknown health boosters that are out there in methods you've never heard about before. More recently, I've heard about nootropics, which is basically like a legal limitless pill. This is the type of information that I am into and I'm sharing with you. Then we have Oprah Winfrey. She openly used visualization techniques on her talk show. She often talked about the power of the subconscious mind and goal-focusing techniques. As Oprah says, the biggest adventure you can take is to take the life you have and follow your dreams. And just literally follow your dreams. Make your life into your dreams. Make it one. John Assaraf. John Assaraf says he bends the law of attraction to his advantage by holding on to the thoughts of what he wants. As he says, you become what you think about most, but you attract what you think about most. So by practicing an ancient energy boosting martial art practice called Qigong, Asaraf supposedly cultivates unlimited amounts of life force, also known as chi or prana. He's also concocted a mind-brain spirit elixir of sorts by combining meditation, visualization, self-hypnosis, affirmations, and mindfulness. He prescribes this to rewire, strengthen, and change the structure and functionality of your brain. Then we have Richard Bach, the best-selling author of Jonathan Livingston Seagull. He said he was just walking around one day and he heard a voice that said, Jonathan Livingston Seagull. And that's all he heard. And he didn't know anything about it. And he got home, he saw a picture of a seagull, and he started writing a book. Now, this intense creative visualization led to him selling over 1 million copies and him being on the cover of Time magazine. This is where it gets even weirder. Elias Howe, the guy who invented the sewing machine. Did you know that he used lucid dreaming to come up with the sewing machine? Think about that for a second. Speaking of sleep, we have Thomas Edison. Most people know he was famous for his naps. But did you know how he used to get them to get inspiration? It's a phenomenon called hypnagogia. It's the state of hanging on to consciousness while you're falling asleep. Well, you want to dream like Edison? Well, he would take a cat nap in a chair with steel balls in his hands. And as he drifted off and relaxed, the balls would drop, waking him up, and voila, more often than not, he'd have his next invention or next idea. Then we have Natalie Ledwell. Natalie Ledwell helps make the dream of over 100,000 people materialize by watching what she calls mind movies. Then we have Russell Simmons. He's the hip-hop mogul. He went from being a drug dealer in Queens to co-founder of Def Jam Records, and he says his success is due to yoga, meditation, and what he calls staying on your grind or sticking with your principles. Then we have Yoshiro Nakamatsu. Now this guy is awesome. He's a prolific inventor, and he claims to hold the world record for the number of inventions with over 4,000 patents. In his interview, Nakamatsu describes his creative process, which includes listening to music, and then he concludes with diving underwater, where he says to come up with his best ideas and records them while he's underwater. Nakamatsu claims that the benefit of lack of oxygen to the brain before being 0.5 seconds away from death is when he gets his best inventions. And then we have Tom Cruise, and I'm completely throwing this in as a joke. This dude's 50 years old, but how does he look so good? No, I'm just joking. Seriously, what's that about though? There's something there, right? Okay, so all these phenomenon and rules and habits I've been talking to you about, think of them all as pieces to a jigsaw puzzle. The catch is nobody knows this puzzle exists. So nobody's ever tried to put the pieces together. Even the people I just introduced you to only know parts of it. So imagine for a second, what kind of thing would you want? What could you say you can do with your life if you had the big picture? Where would you be in your business? Where would you be in your career? Where would you be with relationships in your life? Or what kind of body would you have? What kind of lifestyle would you be designing? See, what I'm about to show you is the result of me exploring those questions, piecing together every reality hack I know of, and creating a roadmap for you and anyone else to really just live an accomplished, empowered, satisfying, and trailblazing life you've always daydreamed of. You see, when I actually stumbled upon this, and once I put this roadmap together and started staring at it, I finally saw the world in a whole new light. My views on life, my views on business, and who and what I really am just shifted right on the spot. It was like this whoa moment that Neo had in the Matrix. And what I'm about to share with you is even weirder. I've discovered that the Sri Yantra symbol I showed you earlier is that roadmap. Why and how? Well, everything will become clear in just a second. See, what I've found is that every positive force, every natural phenomenon, or law you can tap into to get where you want to be in life is contained within the 9 levels of the Sri Yantra. And so now I'm going to take you through this mind exercise where we're going to enter a deeper state of mind and meditate on the Sri Yantra, the ancient symbol that holds all of this stuff together. This is the exact mind exercise I use every time I need some extra creativity or clarity or inspiration with my business, and I credit this as one of those strange habits that has taken me to where I am today. But a word of warning. Maybe you're about to find this a little weird, but remember, weird is what this webinar is all about. So trust me, open your mind to what I'm about to show you, and remember, you don't need any kind of spiritual beliefs or experience or anything like that for this to work. You can simply see it as a subconscious mind exercise. Okay? So let's get started. Do you really know what you want in life? Being completely honest with yourself, are you fully in touch with your inner soul and your inner self? Or are you in discontent with where you are in your life and what you have? Do you feel unfulfilled? Well, this is level 1. It's called connect. The first level of the Sri Yantra is about using your mind to understand your innermost self and learning how to be truly present. The power of this level is to learn what your deepest desires are by drawing on the powerful forces of forgiveness, gratitude, positivity, and good ego within yourself. Then we have the second step. What do you desire? What do you really want? Are you struggling to figure out ways to get by financially, craving financial liberation? Or do you have everything you already want and still feeling discontent? Is your health okay? Are you lonely? Do you want love? Well, level 2, where you saw that piece just added, is called fulfill. It's about mastering your desires and channeling your sexual energy, which I was talking about before, your sexual transmutation, into creating the passionate, fulfilling life you crave. This second level helps you discover true fulfillment and gets down to the nitty-gritty and what you really desire and what will really make you happy at your core. You see, channeling sexual energy or sexual transmutation is a hefty topic that I can't cover too much about on this webinar, but this is where it begins. Then we have the next level. What do you need to know to make this happen? What do you need to make this happen? Do you need to make more money? Do you need to lose 20 pounds? Do you need to meet the love of your life? At this level, you need to be very specific as to what you need to make your dream a reality. And this level is called activate. The third level is about focusing on what you need to do to get where you desire to go. This is where you can harness the unseen forces of autosuggestion, eating and exercising right, and proper breathing techniques to influence the deepest recesses within yourself. Autosuggestion is when your brain automatically triggers responses when a certain thought comes up. If you practice that with breathing, you will enter a hyper-awareness state, which will allow you to see the truth of everything, ultimately activating your inner self. Think of it as like your intuition. Then we have the next level, where the triangles start. Who or what do you need to help you? And what lessons do you need to learn? And what do you need to do to access what you're trying to achieve? Are you in need of a financial expert, a nutritionist, a personal trainer, a matchmaker? Or do you feel like you need more creativity, education, or experience to get where you want to go? Do you need more peace of mind, attention to detail? Well, level 4 gives you access to all of that stuff. These triangles quite literally make that happen. This one's all about getting to the bottom of who and what you need to get what you desire. To do this, you need to tap into the vital forces of your own enthusiasm and your heart to energize yourself into action. Your heart is the center of emotion, and for most of us, it's actually blocked off and needs to be opened. Once you open your heart and realize what you need to gain access to the world you want, things will start opening for you. Then we have level 5, the next level of triangles. What do you need to attract to actually implement what you want to happen? Is it something specific? Is it someone specific? Is there any wisdom or resources you're lacking and just don't know how to find it? Well, level 5, called implement, is the 5th level, and it's about diving deep into discovering who you need to implement your wishes. Although there's a lot of power to be accessed within yourself, as you've heard before, no man or woman is an island. Here you need to find resources and people who will help you become a part of your personal mastermind. Also in this level, you can use affirmations to bring tangible results. If you tell yourself something long enough and you believe in it enough and say it out loud every single day, magical things will happen. It's because you're changing the frequency. You're changing the frequency of what you believe and your reality. Then we have level 6. What protections do you need so that you don't get knocked back down? What internal or external setbacks have you been holding back from your destiny? Is it insecurity or uncertainty or poor health, loneliness, keeping you from, meeting someone special? Maybe even good weather. Let's be realistic. Maybe you want to protect yourself by having good weather. Maybe there's an event happening that you want to protect yourself, right? Or perhaps you just need protection from the technology that can destroy your business. Look, it can be anything. And I want you to be as broad as possible because level 6 is called protect. The 6th level is about protecting yourself as you're going through this process and achieving what you want. It's crucial to know your weaknesses and face them up front. Being fearless and persistent will keep you from being knocked back down as you dig deeper and deeper into creating what you desire. Then we have level 7. What is it that's negatively affecting your life? Do you feel like you just can't get ahead or lose weight or meet the right person and can't figure out why? Is there negative energy that you just can't put your finger on and it's blocking your way? Do you feel like there's seemingly intangible forces keeping you from getting what you really want? It could be anything you want to start doing, right? Stop smoking, or you need to stop being treated bad, or someone needs to treat you better. Well, level 7 is called cleanse. This one's about overcoming your existing blocks and cleansing both mentally and physically. On a mental plane, you can control your subconscious and can reprogram it through lucid dreaming, as well as the little-known power of sacred geometry. And this is what level 7 is all about. On a physical level, you can literally program your food to obtain change in your food at the cellular level. Dr. Emoto did a great study on this, which I'm going to talk about in just a second. Then we have level 9. What current reality do you need to detach from in order to get what you want? What illusions are shackled to you? The belief that you aren't good enough, or smart enough, or pretty enough, or handsome enough, or skinny enough, or whatever enough, right? Level 8 is accomplish. Level 8 is about simply knowing what you need to accomplish to be happy. Although simple at its core, getting there is about going beyond your 5 senses and digging deeper into the depths of your beliefs and accessing your 6th sense. For example, I used to struggle with the fact that I thought I was ugly. So every day I would set up things on my daily routine, and every morning after a shower, I would inhale some eucalyptus and other stuff, and it would anchor inside of me that I was a great looking dude. And soon enough, the illusion soon disappeared. So once you can attach yourself, once you can attach your reality to external objects, it's much easier to get them out of your head and into physical form and get rid of them. And so that's why level 8 is actually called accomplish. Then we have level 9. Are you completely clear, joyous, and stoked about what will make you happy? To the point where you just can't contain yourself. Without this certainty and positivity, what you want and what you desire will continue to elude you. Level 9 is create. And this is it. Level 9 is where you create what you want in your life. This is where it's going to get deep. If you study some really intense stuff like quantum mechanics and exploring the universe and unknown depths of astrology and letting your mind wander, then you'll know what I'm talking about. At this point, you're literally standing at the gateway to creation and tapping into pure manifestation mode. After completing level 1 through 8 and landing on level 9, you've done all the pre-framing to create what you want in your life. So, what did you feel during this exercise? And how do you feel staring at this symbol? I know it's a little trippy, right? It's a little trippy, but I've been doing this for 17 years. So can you imagine what it would be like if you had a system like this for every aspect of your life? You see, people always ask me 2 questions. How did you become so successful? And what's your secret? Those 2 questions always get to me, because when I give people the answer, many people just don't believe me. Because the secret is that you already are the secret and you have it within yourself. You just have to turn it on. You have to activate it. You know those crazy coincidences we all experience from time to time in our life? We've all experienced them at least once, some more than others, and some of us every single day. I'm in that every single day mode. In fact, almost every single hour. Can't really put a finger on what that is because it feels like magic, right? Those forces are basically what's beyond us. It's those forces that we can't prove with typical science, yet it's exactly what each of us need to focus on, because that is the magic, yourself. What if you had the right tools to go along with something like this? Now, obviously, there are subtle forces at work here. There are things happening while we went through that exercise that the universe already started putting together in your favor. This isn't weird magic. It's science, and it's proven, and there's studies done on this stuff. The Sri Yantra has been proven to increase brain activity and create new neural pathways in your brain. It materially alters the shape of your brain and can get you into any brainwave state that you want, whether it's alpha or delta or theta. The Sri Yantra allows you to do that. The 9 different levels all have a certain frequency to them. You see, it took me years to perfect this system, this game plan for unlocking my own inner magic and starting to reinvent my reality. Fact is, I am lucky. Thanks to my past successes, I've had the time to really immerse myself into this stuff and go through the trial and error myself. And so now that I've gone through the hard part, I want to give you the result. And it's a powerful, elegant, fun, I have to say fun, mind-body system that you can painlessly absorb into your daily routine to create unbelievable change in your life, your business, your passions, and everything that matters to you. You know, this thing that I've created is like no other tool or modality can ever do, because this is a culmination of everything that works and the elimination of everything that doesn't. Think of it like the greatest hits album with nothing but amazing tracks and none of the forgettable B-sides. Seriously. So this system I've created, I call it Project Yourself, because obviously it's all about you. And secondly, it's about projecting your untapped inner power and harnessing all the power around you and creating your ideal reality. This is very real. We are at a very interesting time in our world right now, with singularity coming on and stem cell research and spirituality becoming more popular and us tapping into these unknown forces and things that we've never been able to do. This is very real. Project Yourself is an immersive home training program unlike any sort of material you've ever tried before. It's far more than just a bunch of videos or articles. It's a multimedia and multi-sensory experience made up of mind-blowing exercises, tools, and training sessions that engage all 6 of your senses, allowing you to tap into your inner and outer strengths, which in turn makes you into a human satellite dish for abundance, quite literally. And soon enough, you'll be having a lot more of those crazy positive coincidences that other people would call sheer luck. Like I said before, the Sri Yantra has 9 levels. So you remember those 9 levels I mentioned to you earlier? Well, this is how the program is arranged. There's one section for each level. Each one is packed with priceless guidance for fulfilling that purpose of that level. The first time you use this program, all you need to do is go through each of the levels in order. Just watch the tutorials, commit yourself to doing the exercises and tools, and master each level with the powerful project work exercise that will lock in your intention. Now, you'll see me use the duality between project and project inside my webinar and some of the stuff that I've been talking about, because project yourself is projecting yourself into being your perfect person. That's how you do it. So once you do this, I promise you'll see remarkable results to start manifesting within days, weeks, and the months to follow. You can't go wrong with this stuff, because this is exactly what the world's most successful visionaries, entrepreneurs, and dreamers do to change their lives and change the planet. It's like the time-tested and proven codes for life. The Sri Yantra is a very powerful symbol, and if you actually convert it into English, it means instrument of creation. It's not like any other book or course you've seen before. Here's what makes this program really special. Project Yourself is not designed for you to go through once from start to finish, and then just leave it on your bookshelf and let it collect dust. Instead, think of it as like a treasure chest. Because after you use it for the first time, you can just reach in and use the part of it that's most relevant to your life. Like if you need to solve a problem at work, or find a new way to grow your biz, or solve the disagreement you have with your spouse, kids, boss, or employees. It doesn't matter. This course is specifically designed to be inner and outer. And that brings me to my next point, which is called evolve versus involve, or involve versus evolve. It's designed for you to use backwards to forward. The way you decide to utilize it all depends on whether you need to evolve or whether you need to involve in order to get what you desire. So what does all this mean? Well, let's say you're like most of us. You don't really know what you want, and at its core will really make you happy. And seriously, let's be real. How many of us really know at our core what is going to make us happy, at our root cause, right? Well, if this is the case, you'll be able to explore your outer reality by starting at level 1 and making your way to the heart of what you desire at level 9. This is called involution. Alternatively, if you honestly know what you want and just can't figure out how to actually get it, or you're doing it wrong, you can just start at the innermost level, level 9, and work your way outwards through the whole entire process. And you're going to be delving into and exploring outwardly to figure out just what needs to get done so you can finally obtain what you desire. Okay, so here's just a fraction of the experiences and insights you can look forward to in the program. Throughout the program, you'll learn how to invoke your 5 senses plus your 6th sense of intuition to achieve a higher state of consciousness. And you'll be able to experience sensations, emotions, and outcomes you never thought possible. Whether it's at work or in your health or in your relationships or in your business. Imagine using specifically engineered audio that we have within this program to drift you upwards into a more relaxed state of mind, or use color psychology to focus on an image that puts your entire life into clarity, or honing in on intuition at a level that's so sharp you know exactly what the person you're talking to really feels about what you're saying. Or maybe you'll have an idea of what's possible when you put your 6 senses to use. You'll be learning specific ways to breathe. In level 1, you're going to learn a very powerful breathing exercise that vaporizes your stress and fills you with an instant rush of well-being, all through simply breathing slowly and channeling a sense of gratitude. This one's great for when you're trying to calm down and get some clarity with things at work or home and whenever things are kind of overwhelming. In level 2, you'll learn how to take advantage of the phenomenon called sexual transmutation. This is something I have personally been using for quite some time. It's quite interesting. I've been studying it. It's an ancient practice. It essentially means going within and drawing on your purest, most primal source of energy and using that energy to fuel your creative expression. Whether you're making a piece of art or you're studying a particular skill or figuring out how to nail a business deal, it doesn't matter. This is a key focus of the program. It's helping you realize that all energy, inspiration, and power you need isn't from some outside source. It's right inside of you, waiting to be unleashed. And then in level 3, you'll learn a little known art of spiral breathing. Now, I know a lot of people talk about their own version of breathing exercises, but just wait till you try this one. It taps into the energy centers of your bodies, also called the chakras, and lets you channel more energy into the different parts of your life whenever you need a boost, whether it's sexual, financial, professional, or anything. In level 4, we'll dive into the science known as heart math, which is a tool for evolving your heart's intelligence. It's not about cardiac care or calculus. It's about your heart's intelligence. The 40,000 neurons and intuitive signals your heart sends, like love and happiness and care. That all positively affects your emotional health. It affects everything you do. It affects your brain. And it especially comes useful when handling stress. Heart math shows you what you can do to balance heart rhythms, reduce those stress hormones, and boost your immune system. Did you know that an electromagnetic pulse of your heart can be measured up to 1 mile away, while the electromagnetic pulse of your brain only a couple of 100 feet? Well, there's a reason for that. In level 5, you'll learn something that's a little bit weird, but surprisingly powerful, and it's chanting. These 5,000-year-old chants are intense, focused on specific aspects that you'd like to strengthen within yourself, like health and abundance and love, just to name a few. Now, don't worry. You don't have to understand the definition of each word or syllable, or have a singing voice like, Adam Levine or Jewel, nor do you need to be a devout believer in any pantheon of gods or goddesses or deities or anything like that. Just the mere vibration of the chant draws a different level of people and situations and things to you. This is all based off science, and it's called the science of somatics. This is very real stuff. There's starting to be results that are being proven and published by Stanford University that chanting actually releases certain hormones in your brain that I mentioned in the endocrine system. This is very powerful stuff. This is where we start tapping into some really cool stuff. In level 6, you'll learn that being fearless is where real freedom is. That's really where it is. You'll learn how to confront your biggest fear. And everyone has one big fear in mind, and we're going to confront that in level 6. We're going to get it out in the open and tap into a new reality. One unusual skill you'll also get in level 7 is something called food programming. You see, there's thousands of diets and eating plans out there. That's nothing new. But how many diet gurus actually teach you to infuse your food, no matter what you eat, with positive intentions, and actually make that food better for you and better for your body? When you see how this works in a proven way, I'm sure you'll see exactly why it's so powerful. It's mind-blowing. Water holds memory, and memory is important. You'll learn how to be equipped with an essential skill for keeping your body in better shape so you can do more, be more, and experience more. If you look at the image of the water molecules here, notice how beautiful the water molecules are for I love you and thank you versus ones that say heavy metal music and you make me sick. Considering our bodies are made up of 60 to 70% water and our brains and hearts are composed of 73% water and babies and kids have more water than adults, consider the effects that this might have on your actual reality. In level 7, you'll also learn the much talked about but commonly misunderstood skill of lucid dreaming. You'll learn how to program your subconscious so you can experience the lucid dreams you want. And you'll even get powerful dream exercises that help you channel the insights from your lucid dreams into waking life. Imagine dreaming up of a multi-million-dollar idea or some kind of crazy invention that changes the course of history and then waking up and making it happen in real life. It works. I do it every single day. My dreams are an extension of my life. And so when I wake up, it's not like, what was that crazy dream? It's like, this is what I need to do. And it's already started working. It's already starting to put itself into place. It is bizarre. Now, don't get me wrong. I do have weird dreams from time to time. But lucid dreaming is very, very, very powerful. Also in level 7 is the sacred geometry. Now, it's an extremely potent phenomenon. The Sri Yantra is actually based off of sacred geometry. This phenomenon is mysterious and transformational to anyone who finds its secrets. The basic concept is that there are recurring mathematical symbols and sequences found everywhere around us, in man-made buildings like the Parthenon and even the UN headquarters, and in nature like shells and galactic swirls, and even within yourself. Tapping into these symbols and sequences not only balances your energy fields, but also helps your mind access complex information in order to reinvent your reality. Just wait till you do this. You'll start seeing Fibonacci and golden sequences like everywhere. It's really, really powerful stuff. One more thing you'll get in level 7 is one of my favorite tools. An exercise that turns you into a human satellite dish or a magnifying glass for activating your third eye and channeling all that energy around you into getting exactly what you want. Believe me when I tell you that this exercise is 50 times stronger than any typical manifesting or visualization exercise you have ever tried. And all you have to do is sit and hold your hands in a certain way and focus your thoughts as mentioned in this level. Then we have level 8, where you'll find this highly useful problem-solving exercise inspired by Napoleon Hill called the round table exercise. All you have to do is sit down and someone else or a group of people and follow a specific set of brainstorming steps to light up the answer to a question most of us spend our lives trying to figure out. What in life can give me lasting happiness? This exercise alone is worth its weight in gold because of the clarity and peace of mind it can give you whenever you're doubting your path or purpose. One of the core concepts you'll learn about in level 9 is what I like to call the gateway to creation, the pineal gland. Studies show that this gland, which is located in your brain, is the key to accessing a higher state of consciousness. And according to some, it's also the key to tapping into alternative versions of reality, being able to detach yourself from your sense, and also achieving a monk-like state of serenity, even when faced with the toughest problems and challenges. The exercises you'll learn for accessing your pineal gland will actually make this all possible for you. Another thing you'll learn in level 9 is how to use ancient science and how to use the ancient science of astrology to stack the favors in your favor. You see, the planets have frequencies and everything within them are very, very powerful. It's the only thing that we can say that has been around for billions of years. No human has been around for billions of years. The planet's been around for billions of years, but astrology, the stars, that's been around forever. And so when you're looking for that positive coincidence or to nudge you to get that next goal, and I know not everyone believes in astrology, it's a bit of a controversial issue, but as J.P. Morgan once said, millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do. And in my experience, nothing could be more true. One more fascinating subject we'll touch on in level 9 is quantum mechanics and physics, and how to get downloads of timeless wisdom from the universe. Let me tell you, once you follow the steps to start getting these downloads, these things are going to start coming at you uncontrollably. You could be meditating or you could be typing out an email and bam, You're suddenly hit with this realization that puts your entire career or marriage or life philosophy completely into perspective. I can't tell you how many times this has happened to me, putting me right back on my path where I need to be. If all of this resonates with you and you'd like to be one of the first people in the world to experience this wisdom, and not just the stuff that I mentioned, there's so much more in the training, then I invite you to be one of the first people to take this journey with me. It's all starting on June 13th, 2013. On this journey, I'll release a new level of the program once every single week. You'll be following along with our community of your peers, and I'll guide you through every single step of the way with continuous emails and tutorials. It's as good as having me along your side as a personal mentor. And together, we're going to see how far this roadmap can take you. There will be 9 Q&A calls, one every week as we go through every single level. There will be a community where all of us share our experiences in becoming superhuman. There will be expert interviews twice a month to dig in even deeper into the subjects we're going to cover. You see, this is very real, and I want you to come on this journey with me. I believe in this material so much, and the process I've created so much, because it's been my whole life in the making. You can see there's pictures of me here, and I have a necklace on. I wear it, and I prescribe to this myself every single day of my life. I've been practicing and studying this for 17 years, if not longer. And this whole entire system I've cultivated is life's best practices by me and other people, ancient scripts, science, everything. I've been practicing and using this symbol and everything contained within this to hack reality and manifest my life exactly how I want it. When I was 21, I even got a tattoo of the Sri Yantra on my back. Check it out. This is seriously my life's calling, and I want to share this with you. This was 12 years ago that I got this tattoo on my back. But before you say yes or you say no to my invitation, just remember that I want to build a tribe of people who are committed to their greatest lives. I want you to be hungry for epic achievements in your life. I want to change not just your own life so you can buy nice things and live in a nice house, but so you can make an impact, change how things are done. And I need you to be open-minded enough to adopt new practices and give up all the old ones that don't serve you anymore. If that's not you, I'd recommend skipping this and maybe read a book or go to a seminar instead. But if you'd like to join me on this journey and you're a cultural fit for this close-knit tribe, then I'm ready to invite you to join Project Yourself by going to www.projectyourself.com/join. The price is $297. Is that a good deal? Well, I'm not going to insult your intelligence by telling you how to imagine, how priceless this wisdom is when you clearly apply it to your career, your business, your relationships, your health. If you've come this far, you already know that. It's pretty clear, isn't it? Here's exactly what you get when you enroll in this program. You'll get a lifetime of unlimited access and guidance to the entire 9-part home training system. One part will be released every week on our high-tech private online community area. This community was literally built from the ground up and will continue to grow and evolve. Just like you, once all the parts are out, you can use them in any order you like, whenever you want. You'll get a total of 9 printable PDF project books, one for each and every single level. Each of these books will serve as complements to the multimedia and multisensory tools and exercises so you can track progress and achieve the best possible results. Not only that, but we have an online community center that you are seriously going to love. There will be expert interviews twice a month to dig even deeper into the subjects we're going over. You can skyrocket your personal evolution from a hand-picked selection of expert reality hackers, including leading business lifestyle architects, yoga masters, sound healers, NASA scientists, longevity experts, astrologers, scientists, and many, many, many more. Just because you're joining me, I'm going to make this thing awesome. So as you progress through the course, I'll give you a host of free tailor-made exercises, tools, and insights based on the feedback you give me. So how's that for a personalized learning experience? And one more thing. Yes, there is a refund policy. So if you want to invest right now and you're not happy for any reason within the next 30 days, you have my refund policy and you've got nothing to lose here. And given what's at stake, you've got seriously no reason to try this at all. So if you're keen, I suggest making your decision fast, because once I hit the initial intake of 200 people, I'm shutting this thing down until I'm ready for the next intake. I don't mean to leave anyone out, but I'm just one person. And I want to make sure everyone on this journey gets the personal attention they deserve. The fact that you're here this long on this webinar shows me that you're serious. It shows me that you're ready to take your life to the next level. I've been sharing the Sri Yantra with friends for over a couple years now, and every single one has since seen major changes in their life, business, and relationships. They are easily able to manifest more, but not many of them actually practice the whole entire system I just went over. This is something massive. This is a shift in your mind, in your body, in time, and in space. This system will quite literally create a new breed of superhumans with supernatural powers, all based on ancient teachings and modern science so that you know how to utilize them. From teleporting to bending time and space to astral projection to losing weight to becoming smarter, the possibilities are quite honestly endless. So if you want another brief recap of what's on this course, go to projectyourself.com/project or /project. Basically the same exact thing. So check it out, projectyourself.com/project. And I want to thank you for watching this webinar. I know I covered a lot of stuff. It's been an hour and a half, much longer than I had expected, but I got through a lot of stuff. And I just want to thank you for joining me here. Check out projectyourself.com/project. And I really look forward to working with you. I really look forward to really just making you the person you need to be and achieving everything you need to achieve by using a set of reality hacks that I've put together almost my whole entire life that for the first time I'm putting together and actually sharing it with you. I can honestly tell you that I was actually pretty scared to do this webinar, and I don't know, I was actually having butterflies all day, and I was like, man, I never get butterflies about any of that stuff. But I felt like I needed to share this information with all of you just in good intention, just to spread consciousness and just to share this message with you. So if you are ready to join the tribe, thank you for watching. Check out projectyourself.com/project. If you're ready to join right now, you can go to /join and just skip the whole page and just go straight to the order page. And I really, truly, truly, truly wish to see you on the inside from the bottom of my heart. I love all of you guys. Wow, I covered a ton of stuff, and I'm just kind of, my head's kind of spinning right now. But that's it. projectyourself.com/project, and I will see you on the other side. Thank you.